can't wash dirt with dirt. And I'm pretty sure once I post this video's reaction, people are gonna say, "Oh, you don't understand, and you're ignorant, and you're on one side, and you need to, open up your eyes and all this." So it's like, how about everybody open up their eyes and stop hiding behind you? So what up, hip hop crimies and crimettes? Welcome back to the couch. It's your man Bito back with another reaction. So if you know, you know. If you don't, hit the button below. We've had a lot going on in the last few days, man. And this reaction today is a Tom MacDonald song. It's his song dedicated to Charlie Kirk, who was just recently lost his life to a public shooting at the Utah College while debating, sharing policies, sharing his views, whatever you want to say. Like, that's neither here nor there. But he had lost his life not too long ago for the whole world to see, and it's gotten the world in an uproar. You know what I'm saying? It's got people pointing fingers. It's got people on both sides playing the blame game. It's got people hiding behind their religion. It's got people hiding behind politics. It's got people doing a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And all in all, I think we're losing the overall message here, and I think people are blending in the, well, just because you have a difference in opinion or you don't agree with this guy's opinion, you shouldn't be celebrating his untimely demise. But the thing is, though, is that you have to separate the people that are doing that from the people who are actually trying to talk some sense into the overall situation. Now, I'm not saying people should go and say rest in peace, mourn, or do anything if they're not aligned with what his sentiments were and the stuff that he spoke on. Now, that's not something that people need to do. But on the flip, you can't expect people to mourn and play nice online when we can say countless times of when political leaders, innocent black folks during police brutality, which happens all the time, but when the news decides to show it, we can't say that people can do the Trayvon Martin challenges and the Donald Sterling things and the George Floyds and the we can't say that we want people on one side to feel bad about something, but when it's flipped on the other side, those same people weren't feeling bad when the shoe was on the other foot. So what I've watched is that, for instance, it's like nobody likes when the rabbit got the gun. And that's just something that society has to figure out. And unfortunately, we're not going to figure it out by pointing fingers at each other and blaming one side. Like one side's blaming the other side when there's not a full story on what's going on. And then you have another side that's just like, celebrating, which once again, I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. I just don't condone it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to tell somebody how to feel. And I think that's really what this boils down to too, is that a lot of people are trying to tell people how to feel, but we're missing the overall message. Like, homie was spitting some stuff out there, and a lot of people who I've talked to or tried to have this discussion with or try to ask questions about, they avoided the messages and the stuff that this guy has actually said. And granted, he said what he said, and it's definitely the stuff that he's saying it would set us back 50 plus years. You know what I'm saying? You're undoing a lot of things that the world has tried so hard to put together and make this world a diverse place. And if you support that, I don't really care what you do. It may not be aligned with what it is for me, but I don't like how people are pretending. Both can be true. Both could be, one can happen where it's like, all right, the dude lost his life and people can mourn. But what also could be true is that the messages and the stuff that he said was definitely not something that's aligned with peace. And, quite frankly, and that's why I say people hide behind their religion, because if you're so religious and you listen to what this guy is saying, you can't remotely think that he's trying to say everybody should be together and is speaking the word. So, I'm not a person that's gonna mourn for him. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm celebrating either, but I'm not gonna pretend that this dude wasn't saying a lot of disparaging things and divisive things that has us at this point where we're at right now, where people are still pointing fingers, still, blaming one side, still saying, well, somebody shouldn't die because of their opinion. But at the end of the day, this is more or less like, this is speech that sets people back at the end of the day. This isn't like Celtics versus Lakers opinions. This isn't like pancakes versus waffles. Like, that's an opinion. But when you're sharing stuff that throughout history has shown that it could change and make people get into these riffraffs with each other, that's not okay to me. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I will say. Like, it's just not something that people should do. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get right into this. It's been a minute since I've been in front of this camera and stuff like that too. And it's funny because I've been thinking about this shit for days. So it's one of those, I'm trying to compile all this into one thing because I'm like, after this I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day too, it's like you can't really argue ignorance with people, and you can't wash dirt with dirt. And I'm pretty sure once I post this video's reaction, people are gonna say, "Oh, you don't understand, and you're ignorant, and you're on one side, and you need to, open up your eyes and all this." So it's like, how about everybody open up their eyes and stop hiding behind your political stance, stop hiding behind your religion, stop hiding behind everything that you're hiding behind, and pretend that the real stuff isn't happening in front of you, and just take ownership. You know what I'm saying? Take ownership. And if you feel that way and agree, because what a lot of people is doing is like, well, I liked what he said on a spiritual or the Christianity level. It's like, all right, dog, you're just clearly hiding behind that part because it's one of those, listen to what he's saying. It's the context. And it goes back to people need to start reading books, watching these documentaries and everything. Because if you listen to what he says and you go back and listen to what these people were saying before civil rights got active, like, this is the same rhetoric, dog. It's the same rhetoric at the end of the day. So I'm not really here for either side of people doing shit like this, man. But to pretend that this dude wasn't spewing mixed messages and divisive shit, it's not cool. But we're gonna get right into this Tom MacDonald song, Charlie. We're gonna see what it is. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Yesterday, in a violent act of cowardice, an assassin took Charlie Kirk's life. And, I always thought, and this is, it's funny because I always, the language and the context of how we're doing these things, they're clearly just still setting us up with this divide. Like, Charlie Kirk, if I'm not mistaken, was an influencer who happened to be a right-winged influencer. He was not a political person, and last time I checked, I thought assassinations really happened or were only associated with political figures. So them trying to build him up as a political figure and this martyr for it is something that's ugly and nasty as well, too. He got shot. He's a victim of gun violence, yes, but to use these languages and these certain words is very triggering for the world, because the right side is going to take that and be like, see, this is what we mean. And then the left is going to disagree, and it's going to still bring that constant divide amongst people. Like, what at the end of the day, what people need to do is set down these parties, set our races aside, even though race plays a big part of it, because at the end of the day, this is what America's culture has been built off of. If people don't want to own that or look into that or see that, I don't know what to tell you, but you know what I'm saying, the truth hurts. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. The truth hurts, and you can tell by how a lot of people, how they're reacting. Deep down, you know that shit's true, and it's hurting y'all and it's irking y'all deep down, but you're so stuck and so deep into what you're committed to that you're too blinded to see it. And it's on both sides. You know what I'm saying? We're going to say it's on both sides, but my heart goes out to his wife, his 2 children, and his millions of loyal supporters. All proceeds from the song will be donated. Rest in peace, Charlie.
Shot down and he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind a wife.
So even with this, it's like, and this goes back into, like, I don't like how people are utilizing their platforms. Like, once again, this guy has 1 million subs. That guy had 4 million subs. The other guy who's been going off his rocker in this situation has 1 million plus subs too. It's like, going into pointing fingers and not knowing the information is a big part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with the information that has came out today, we still don't really know, because at the end of the day, they're playing in our faces, and that's the part that I'm gonna home on in, is that they're playing in our faces to still keep this narrative alive, where you have guys like this that are gonna make a song and still point at the left or the woke or whatever you want to say, because the narrative is always changing, the language is always changing. But this is not good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, make your song and do your thing, but listen to how you're using your language, and look at who you're pointing your fingers at when you don't have the answers. It goes back to nobody has the answers like that, and we pointing blame.
And a daughter and a son, all he did was try to speak for all of us. And And I'm so tired of the hatred and the narratives. The patriots ain't dangerous, woke people are the terrorists. They shot and killed a father, sent a message to Americans. They ain't gonna stop until they bury us. Dear Charlie, I don't know if you...
So once again, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go and say this type of stuff when that same side does the same exact thing. It's just, it's not fun when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I'm saying? It's never fun when the rabbit got the gun. And this time right now, it's on the other side. And now y'all are feeling it. And y'all are like, damn, how come there's no sympathy? And like, blah, 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 blah. And then you're still blaming. Because he wrote this song before we got the information too. So I'm going off in context here. Like, you're writing this and saying this and having people listen to this and feeling that and taking advantage of an emotionally high moment and getting people revved up, because music has its power too. Words have power, dog. This is a reaction right here where it's like, words have power. I'm not hating or liking the song. This is just to deliver a message. And since I got a platform, I got to talk about this shit a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can be like, oh, you're ignorant, you don't got all the answers. But y'all are listening to a dude that don't got all the answers himself, or he's also given half truths in what he was standing on. And that's the problem that I have. Like, y'all can agree with it or whatever all y'all want, but just know that what homie was saying was half truths. Even with this whole sympathy and empathy, you know what I'm saying, comment, like, with him saying that and then y'all sharing it more, there's a whole other half of that word that has a meaning, and he left that whole part out, which for me, looking at it, it's like, I see everything he's doing. He's lining it up to fit the narrative, but leaving out half the story. And a lot of y'all don't know half the story, because clearly y'all are only just listen to what he says and be like, well, it's got to be true because he's on this platform and he's saying it, so he's got all the answers. Nobody's really going to dig themselves. But this is why they've been trying to get rid of history. This is why we're at where we're at right now, dog. It's because people want to ignore the whole story. People just like to hear part of the story that makes people feel good, and that's the sick part about this.
You can see us now, but if heaven has a window, I sure hope you're looking down. Cause we ain't going quiet, we gon' scream your name loud. And you're gone, but I swear to God that we gon' make you proud. We ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us. When good men die for the things that they say, and I can't just be quiet, so I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day. Killed in cold blood for having a discussion, and liberals are celebrating murder like it's justice. You didn't kill a villain or the evil that it comes with. You killed a father and a husband. And I'm so tired of the...
So, you know, I gotta play, not even devil's advocate. I just gotta be like, so we pretend that anybody else wasn't a father, a husband, a brother. You know what I'm saying? None of these other people were. Like, we've seen, you know, I hate to pull this out there, but you know, I gotta do a can from Paid in Full. Like, you know, dudes get shot every day, B. You know what I'm saying? Dudes is getting shot every day, B. And this is not anything different from what we've seen in history, but because it's on y'all side, we acting like this is brand new. You know what I'm saying? This has been going on both sides for years. And sadly, you know what I'm saying, when people want to say that people are celebrating and everything, these are the same folks that, and I'm pretty sure once again, you got 4 million subs or whatever, a lot of followings. Out of those millions, I could probably say 2 to 3 million probably was out here doing the Trayvons. You know what I'm saying? I bet they wish they could have got their Skittles signed by George Zimmerman. You know what I'm saying? They probably wish they could have bought the piece that he auctioned off. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things, and y'all are mad that we're pulling out quotes that homie said. Because remember, these are his words. And that's the thing that's really crazy, is that people are trying to act like these aren't his words that he said. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to act like we're taking his words out of context. Like, there's no out of context when somebody has the quotes himself and has multiple clips. Y'all want to say watch the whole interview versus 10 seconds or something like that. When somebody's talking about a topic, they're not talking that topic necessarily the whole interview. Like, whatever that point that he's on, he's going to talk that point for 2 to 5 minutes, and he's gonna hit all his points and make all his statements. So his quotables are out there, and if you stand by those quotables, black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian, or whatever, then most likely you're part of the problem, because that means you don't truly stand on togetherness and unity. You believe in separation. And honestly, with black folks, I'm going to have to always wonder how you can condone what he's saying, because it's like, yeah, you may be in a better position and you may not have felt like you've been in that position or not affected by DEI or affirmative action, whatever, but guarantee you if they took all that shit away, you're gonna struggle just like everybody else that would looks just like you, and you're gonna be in the same boat, dog. That's the sad part about it, is that people try to pretend that the language isn't the same language that a lot of bigots and a lot of these nationalist groups and a lot of the KKK members weren't talking back in the 80s, back in the 60s, back in the 70s. Like, this is all the same thing, dog. It's just that people don't know history no more, and this is why they're not trying to this is why they're trying to get rid of history, dog. It's crazy.
Left in all the wokery, we can't get along if you just kill us when we don't agree. Sniper rifle fire from a liberal that no one sees. Scared I might be next to die when I'm just buying groceries. Charlie, we'll make sure your children know that defending all our freedom is why you aren't coming home. I hope heaven has a window you can watch your children grow and hear your message echo from below. And we ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties, and you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us, when good men die for the things that they say. And I can't just be quiet, so I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day.
I mean, y'all can think he good all y'all want, but, you know what I'm saying, you can be both. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a Christian man don't make you a good man. And that's the thing that got me bothered with people that hide behind the Christian and spiritual excuse of the whole matter. Is like, my man was saying some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man was saying a lot of bullshit about just a lot of people from Palestine, black folks, women, you know what I'm saying? Just public executions. Like, he was saying a bunch of wild shit that y'all are just trying to ignore and pretend that he was a good guy. Like, you could be like, it sucks that he died, but like, you can't force people to act like he was a good guy if you really sat back and listened to what he was saying. That's just really what it is. You know what I mean? And like, you know, for the one thing I'll give respect for this song and like how Tom approached it, even though I don't like how he still was pointing fingers because he's kind of being a part of the problem, is that at least he took to making the music, I guess, instead of going on his phone and going on lives and crying on the camera and shit, all up in the videos, crying and ranting and trying to insinuate wars and stuff. I'll give him like points for that, because I've seen a lot of these artists or a lot of these people out here, you know what I'm saying, be the cause to the problem. And it doesn't make it any better that our president goes on, who knows we don't have the answers, and I mean, they got the answers, but we don't. You know what I'm saying? But you know you ain't got the answers, and you come out to the general public forcing the issue of left, woke, extreme left people, extreme that, and then using trans and all this. Like, we need to stop with these excuses, bro. We need to stop with like picking and choosing. We need to stop fake caring. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop having selective hearing. We need to stop having selective everything. We need to just have no transparency. We need to just face the shit head on, bro. The whole thing. If you racist, dog. Like why are we scared to be racist in today's world versus like, you know, before? We masking it with other words. Like, the same messages that people are spewing that match the same messages from 30, 40 years ago. We're just dressing this shit up a little bit better to lessen the blow. But if you just read between the lines, read a fucking book, listen to a documentary, just go back and just go outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand what this man was saying was not anything that brought togetherness. Like, it was nowhere close to it. Like, he did it. And the thing is too, you can weaponize the Christian faith. I mean, KKK is a Christian. They scream that they were Christian all the time. Are those good people? Are they good people? They ran around preaching the word of God. And once again, that Bible, that book, and this is why I stay out of it sometimes, but like, these are prime examples. People will take things out the book, because it's all about perspective and how you receive it too. They will take that same stuff out the book, remix the shit out of it, and spew it out there to the masses of people who A, might not read the book or might not read period, B, they just feeling it because it sounds good. And that's the problem with words. Words have power, words have meaning, and words cause things. You think fucking H-Man, you think H-Man was out here, you know what I'm saying? Not you thought he was just out here just got rise power. No, it was his words, dog. It was his words. It was the stuff that he spewed, and he got a following. That's the problem. That's what made Kirk a dangerous person in minorities' eyes, women's eyes, people who actually had a moral fiber's eyes. Like if you was listening to him and was like, oh yeah, like you can be Republican and be like, nah, that's some bullshit. That's the thing that's crazy. Like if you listen to what he's saying, it's like, nah, bro, you only listen, you looking out for white men, period. White men, period. Which once again, it's been the same rhetoric for years when it comes to this type of stuff. The white man has always felt threatened or not a part of something, when in fact you're running the whole goddamn country, dog. Like the privilege is so strong that I'm like, how are you even that mad? That it just goes to show, you know what I'm saying, that we ain't grown. America has not grown out of the Confederate way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? We haven't grown out of that because we allowed the South to still do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this shit stems from down south and it trickles up and around. But it's just how it is, man. You know what I mean? But that's kind of my rant and all over the place thing with it, man. I already know people gonna be killing my shit in the comments with this one, but I don't really give a fuck, because at the end of the day, people don't like when people speak things that actually offend them, and that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that like I got all the answers, but I can say on the points that I'm getting at, I can with confidence say that that's the truth. We're all hiding behind certain shit, whether it be religion, politics, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever this man is involved in, we're ignoring the shit that he's really saying. Because even if you send somebody a quote of him saying something about, let's say, black pilots and shit like that, they never want to address that, you know what I'm saying? But they want to be like, but I liked his spiritual journey and his faith and all this shit like that. Okay, but can we address the fact that homie was still a piece of shit and saying shitty things? You know what I'm saying? We're not saying that because he says shitty things that he needs to be off this earth. Nobody has said that unless you're a sicko online that's doing the songs and doing the same thing that the MAGA people or the right's doing and going on your phone and screaming and celebrating somebody. That's not how we get down over here. But the real conversation is about knowing that this dude was still a dirtbag and had crazy ideologies. You know what I'm saying? He remixed the hell out of a lot of KKK fucking models. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna call a spade, and anybody that's acting like that's not what it is, that's crazy. And for all the black creators out there that's trying to make it seem like black people is stuck in their ways or whatever, y'all is bugging. Y'all is definitely bugging, dog. And I don't know what that is and what that's about, but at the end of the day, y'all might have to go back and read a book. I know everybody be, you know, making their videos and talk with they talking points and really stand on what they believe in, but I be listening and that shit be wrong. That shit be definitely wrong, dog. Like, cause that's half the message and half the story. And I see y'all out there. I see y'all, and that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And from both sides, that's crazy from both sides. But don't forget to like the video, subscribe. I already know people might be like, fuck this dude after, but I really don't give a fuck. And I'm also going to end on this because, you know, people don't like to listen. I don't think he deserved to get shot. But do I think he's a racist? And do I think the stuff that he was spitting was off the wall and doesn't help with progression? Yes. But I'm not here celebrating that shit because I didn't like for me, I don't like when you wash dirt with dirt. And I watched this happen with things that affected me, and I'm watching it now happen with clearly things that are affecting y'all. So let's all fucking wake the fuck up. Let's just wake the fuck up, dog. You can still be what you want, but let's just wake up, dog. Let's stop pretending. On that note, don't forget to like the video, subscribe. We out. What's the word, Dada? Yeah, I mean, once again, this song he wrote, he was quick to get on this song, just like all these people right now. They've been quick to hop online and just be screaming and doing WWE promos for a dude that they've even said that they don't even know. So you're crying and shit for somebody that you don't even know from a hole in the wall personally. You're out here pointing fingers and just assuming things because you just, you know, people like that want to start some shit deep down so bad. Because with those people, there's more hate in their heart, dog, than there is peace and love, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? There's more hate in their heart than love. Because if your reaction to somebody that you look up to, idolize, whatever, get shot and your first initial response is to go like this and prop your phone up and just riff and rap about how the left this, the right that, the woke this and all that. Once again, they are a part of the problem. And there's a lot of people like that. And that's the sad part about it, is that we're online following all these people. They're building cults and doing all this and being irresponsible with the platforms. You know what I'm saying? All the way across the board. That shit is crazy, bro. Like, it's like, how is it that y'all wanna be like, we're so peaceful, but then y'all hop it up on y'all phones, and we know y'all ain't gonna really do shit, because usually if you're gonna hop on your phone and saying you're gonna do something, 9 times out of 10 you're not gonna do it, but you're hopping up on your phone, screaming at the top of y'all lungs, being like, yo, we need to go to war with them, we need to line them up, we need to do that. How is any of that peaceful? I don't get it. And then you got black folks out here, dog, that are just defending this wild shit. And it's like, you understand, wherever the fuck you work at or whatever you got going on, if it wasn't for all these things in place, you would literally struggle to get in the position that you're at. And then on top of that, when we're using these examples of, like, you know, DEI, and we use people who have the credentials and have actually earned these things, yes, the assistance of affirmative action in DEI plays a part. But we as black folks, and this is why I'm always baffled, like, did y'all not have parents that was from the civil rights time where, like, you know, you have to work 10 times harder to get just right here with people as black folks? I can't speak for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I can only speak for people in my culture. And, like, we have to work 10 times harder to get to where we're at. That's not a victim mentality. That's not a lazy mentality, because how is it that we're lazy, but we're out here busting our ass and going and fighting against so many obstacles to get to that level of success where if it's little Johnny or Jimmy over here, they can just kind of walk right up the ladder and just get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you might have some obstacles. I would say nobody has it easy, but 9 times out of 10, and I went to a white school, bro, new public schools. So I've seen the acts of privilege and how things just get handed to somebody based off of just their skin color, dog. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. Even with being in schools from the jump, like, you got little Joey who can't read, but he's in regular classes or whatever. And then you have, you know what I'm saying, little black kid on the side who may just act up every now and then but can read, right, you know what I'm saying, understand what's going on in the curriculum and shit like that, but you want to put him on an IEP. Like, there's always systematic ways of where they hold black folks down. But you know what it is? History isn't being taught that. People aren't trying to look into that. There's black history and then there's American history. And a lot of black history don't get put into American history. If you ever notice, the main things they got to put in is just the civil rights movements, like slavery, like little bullshit bits and pieces like that. But if you go and dig into black history, you'll see why there's only half the story of what this man was saying and what he was standing on. And that's what bothers me the most, is that we really acting like this dude was speaking lyrical miracle facts. And sure, he might have been speaking some lyrical miracle facts in regards to just defending his point, but his lyrical miracle facts don't add up when you get the other half of the story. And a lot of y'all don't have the other half of the story, because a lot of y'all either didn't get taught history in school, and I'm talking black history, didn't care about black history. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many levels to this black history shit, man. It's crazy. It's super crazy. I needed a thicker straw. There we go. Thank God I didn't listen to that song and I was enjoying that, because that could have went left real fast. And I'm trying to keep it real PC while I'm talking about this shit, because, you know, people will take what you're saying out of context, and I expect people to still take any and everything that I said out of context 1,000%. But at the end of the day, at least I know it's not coming off as me celebrating or praising it or whatever. It's more or less like, yo, get y'all shit together, dog. But anyway, enough of that shit. Like I said, we only gonna address that shit one time. We did it. It is what it is. You know, I hope all parties involved figure it out. I'm always gonna stay that I remain on the middle. You know what I mean? Because I see color, but I'm not gonna pretend that the bullshit isn't the bullshit. And until people want to stop playing the game that they got us playing, because we all playing the game that we don't even know the rules to. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Everybody think they know, but you don't really know. You only know what they telling you. and you're riding off that, but they blatantly play in our face like, look at the inconsistencies of everything that has happened throughout time, and we keep falling for the same okey doke, but we still keep being like da 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 instead of banding together as one. Until we band together as one and we realize who the real enemy is, and it ain't us, it ain't black and white. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a little bit of it can be that depending on who you're talking to, but it really is a bigger problem. You know what I'm saying? It's not us, because both sides say the same points of like, we want to be together and let's be united and shit. But y'all both have different ways of doing it, which is insane. Which is insane. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We in a weird spot with that, dog. But anyway, we're gonna hop into some more vibes because that.